evidence. Today, we delve into a recent and significant ruling by the Supreme Court of India, the case of Biswajyoti Chatterjee versus State of West Bengal. This judgment, delivered on 7 April 2025, carries important implications for understanding consent in relationships and the misuse of criminal proceedings. The case arose from a criminal appeal against a Calcutta High Court order. The bench comprising Justices B.V. Nagaratna and Satish Chandra Sharma delivered this crucial verdict. The appellant, Mr. Biswajyoti Chatterjee, a former judicial officer, was accused by the complainant, respondent number 2 of rape, cheating, and criminal intimidation under the Indian Penal Code. Let's look at the facts. The complainant alleged that in 2014, while undergoing a divorce, Mr. Chatterjee, then an additional Chief Judicial Magistrate, promised to marry her and engaged in a physical relationship. She claimed he provided financial support and maintained this relationship until her divorce was finalized. Subsequently, she alleged that Mr. Chatterjee distanced himself, leading to the filing of an FIR in December 2015. The procedural history saw the appellant being granted anticipatory bail by the Calcutta High Court. A charge sheet was filed, and the magistrate took cognizance of the matter. However, Mr. Chatterjee's attempts to get the charges dismissed through revision petitions in the High Court were unsuccessful. Ultimately, his application for discharge was denied by the Sessions Court, leading him to appeal to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court framed key issues for consideration. Firstly, whether the allegations constituted offences under Sections 376, 2(f), rape by a public servant abusing his position, 417, cheating, and 506, criminal intimidation, of the IPC. Secondly, whether Mr. Chatterjee was entitled to be discharged under Section 227 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Arguing for the appellant, his counsel contended that the relationship was consensual, between two mature adults. They emphasized that no false promise of marriage could have been made as the complainant was aware of Mr. Chatterjee's existing, albeit strained, marriage, making any such promise unenforceable. They further argued the absence of evidence for fraudulent inducement or criminal intimidation, and criticized the High Court's order for not adequately considering the consensual nature of the relationship. The state, representing the respondent, argued that Mr. Chatterjee, leveraging his position, exploited the complainant's vulnerability under a false promise of marriage. They presented witness statements and called data records to corroborate the complainant's allegations, asserting that a prima facie case existed and only a trial could determine guilt. In a significant decision, the Supreme Court allowed the appeal, setting aside the High Court's order and discharging Mr. Chatterjee. The court's key findings were as follows. Consent. The court held that the complainant, being aware of Mr. Chatterjee's marital status and professional background, entered the relationship voluntarily. Her actions demonstrated reasoned deliberation, not a misunderstanding of facts. The court relied on the precedent set in Pramod Suryabhan Pawar v. State of Maharashtra. Rape, Section 376 IPC. The court found no evidence of a false promise of marriage made in bad faith with direct relevance to the complainant's initial consent. The prolonged nature of the relationship further suggested voluntary consent, referencing the Prashant Bharti v. State of NCT of Delhi case. Cheating, Section 417 IPC. The court concluded that no fraudulent or dishonest inducement was established, as the complainant was aware of Mr. Chatterjee's circumstances. Criminal intimidation, Section 506 IPC. The bare allegations of threats lack any supporting evidence. Inconsistencies. The court noted a contradiction in the complainant's narrative regarding the engagement of a specific advocate, which cast doubt on her overall account. Abuse of process. The court expressed concern about the increasing trend of initiating criminal proceedings in cases of failed consensual relationships, deeming such instances an abuse of the legal process. The core legal principles established by this judgment, or the ratio decidendi, are: consent under Section 375 IPC requires active and reasoned deliberation. A false promise of marriage must be made in bad faith and directly influence the consent to constitute rape. This was not proven in this case. Prolonged consensual relationships, especially with awareness of the other party's situation, negate claims of misconception of fact regarding consent. Criminal proceedings arising from failed consensual relationships can be terminated at the discharge stage to prevent abuse of the legal process. The court also made important obiter dicta, or additional observations. Courts must assess consent on a case-by-case basis, considering all surrounding circumstances, as there is no one-size-fits-all approach, referencing the Uday versus State of Karnataka case. The prosecution bears the crucial burden of proving the absence of consent, a fundamental element of the offense. Ultimately, the Supreme Court allowed Mr. Chatterjee's appeal, quashed the Calcutta High Court's order, and terminated the criminal proceedings against him. No costs were ordered. The Biswajyoti Chatterjee case serves as a significant reminder of the importance of discerning between consensual relationships and instances of genuine criminal wrongdoing. It underscores the need for careful consideration of consent in cases involving allegations of rape and highlights the judiciary's role in preventing the misuse of criminal law in failed relationships.